My name is DeLaura. I'm a branch manager at Supreme Lending. I'm here with Suzy Couture over at Executive Real Estate. We're here to talk about a few topics of importance that we feel that everyone should know. Starting off, first topic we wanted to talk about was the real estate outlook of 2024. Suzy, I'll let you take that one. From your perspective as a realtor, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, what I'm thinking is that there's still no inventory. I mean, that's what we're struggling with, and I think we will continue to struggle with that. Buyers, because of the interest rates, I think they're at like, what, 8% now?
Yeah, basically.
Right? So we've got a lot more buyers that are sitting on the sidelines now because, I mean, they started at maybe 6.5, and they got to 7, and now they're at 8, and their buying power is just diminishing, right? So they're waiting for the interest rates to come down. So the way that I see 2024, I think that there's still going to be a high demand. You know, there's still a huge buyer pool out there that hasn't done anything.
They're still on the sidelines.
They're still on the
Still
sidelines.
pre-qualified, and they're still sitting in the.
They're still
sitting
there.
in your database.
Yep, they're still sitting there in my database.
Yep.
I don't think. I mean, you can tell me, right? You're the expert here, but I don't think that the rates next year are going to continue to climb, especially with the elections coming up. I mean, what I read is that I think by the end of next year, low 6s, and then like in 2 years we'll be hitting the 5s. This is all
So according to the National Association of Realtors, Fannie Mae, and the Mortgage Bankers Association, they kind of all did what they believe the forecast is going to be. And at the end of the day, no matter what they originally came up with, by the end of next year, they think rates should be in the low 6s to 6.
Yeah.
The point, though, that they try to make is it's not going to happen instantaneous.
No.
The rates are still going to be high,
Yeah.
at least for the first half of next year.
Yeah.
But they also talk about, there are some advantages to buying while rates are high.
Absolutely.
And this comes from Business Insider. You can always find it on
Yeah.
Google. And this is what they listen. Number one, they say there's less competition.
There is less competition.
Okay, there's less competition.
Yep.
Number two, home values are still going to grow. I believe it's still going at between 2 to 4% is what they believe appreciation should be.
Yeah, this past year was a little over 2, and I mean that would coincide with what would be coming up next as well.
You'll beat the rush when rates do go down, because all that's going to happen when rates go down is it's going to put the people on the sidelines on the market, which means house values are going to be even higher.
Correct.
So if it's selling for 300, it's not going to go for 3. It's going to go for a lot more than
Absolutely.
that. Number 4, high rates keep home prices from rising too quickly. We just touched on that. If they're not going up too high, you're going to get it for basically list price because there's not as many people putting offers in. And number 5, you can refinance down the road.
Yeah. I mean, we're still seeing, properties are still going in multiple offers because,
Right.
again, we still have a limited inventory. I think the inventories are 8% less than where they were last year at this time. So we were struggling last year, right? So, I mean, the inventory is still really low. If you buy now, what I tell my people is that if you can afford it at this current rate and it's comfortable for you, move forward. Right? It doesn't matter. Within a year, I think, don't quote me, within a year they'll be able to refinance.
Yeah, I think they're going to refinance within probably about 2 to 3 years,
Yep.
just to play it safe. But even if that's the case, if you can afford it, buy it, because you're going to have such a tough time finding a house that you love.
Absolutely, especially now, again, with no competition.
Exactly.
The rates go down next year. There's probably 200-300 people in my database that will just start flooding the market.
Yep.
We'll be back out there.
All right, moving on to topic number 2. I call this topic only because it's Halloween themed, zombie leads. So let's explain what a zombie lead is. So first of all, a zombie lead is any lead that you've had for a while that's like, for example, the open houses that, people say, hey, I'm
From
looking to
like
buy
3 years
from
ago?
3 years ago. The people that say, I'm not buying until home prices go down. Well, they've been sitting on the sidelines now for how many years?
Yep.
The people that say, well, I gotta do this first.
Or 2% mortgage.
Yeah, 2% mortgage, yeah. Or the people that are saying, hey, I'm renting right now, I gotta wait till my lease is up. But all of those individuals, they're all sitting on the sidelines, and they just need to be educated right now as far as what's ahead of them in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
They have to understand, it's not gonna be to your advantage to wait.
Nope.
There's no advantage to waiting on buying a house right now.
No.
I mean, we have a client, I get a text message every so often on a house, and every time I get this text message.
She's fizzled. She fizzled again.
Right. Every time I get the text message, the house price is higher or the mortgage payment's higher because rates have gone up, and it's like, oh no.
But where's your magic wand?
Right. I can't magically help them out. But the idea is you just want to make sure that we go through everybody that's out there and touch base with all of them, no matter how old the lead's been, how unlikely you think they might change their minds. It's all about education, and that's kind of what it is. I just want to get rid of all those zombie leads, make sure I touch on all of them before the year ends.
Yeah, we've already started doing that.
Yeah.
We have them all in buckets, right? We've got seller buckets and we have buyer buckets. We have timeline buckets underneath each one of those categories. Renters are a complete other bucket. I mean, our renters are all on a 12-month drip campaign. Each month, giving them a little tidbit of information as to why they should reach out to a lender and see if purchasing a home, getting pre-qualified, makes sense for them. A lot of them are paying the $18,000, $2,000, $2,300, $2,400 a month, rent. So you know that they can afford it. It's a matter of whether or not they qualify.
Right.
So those are in our buckets, and again, I mean, there are drip campaigns that we have for each one of our buckets and sub-buckets to try to kind of see, who is a green light, who's a yellow light, and who is just like
hard red.
Done, right? Who needs to just say like, peace out, hasta la vista, and call it a day.
Just keep going through those databases.
Yeah.
Which leads us to my last topic of today, and that's business planning for 2024. And that face says it all, and I'm just as bad. We're at the end of October. We have 2 months left.
Yeah, 2 months left.
2 months left.
Come on, 2 months.
Now is the time to start getting the business plans together for next year. What have you seen as like some of the differences between how you plan for this year compared to how you're going to plan for next year?
Well, in the last 2-3 years, we just haven't had time.
Right.
There's been no time. So there's been no time. It wasn't a matter of planning for business. It was a matter of, just making the next deal happen, because there was 30 people calling you and everybody wanted to see the same house, and it was just chaos. Now that the market's kind of settled down and the interest rates are a little bit higher and you have a little bit more time to breathe, my business plan, what I plan on doing is, again, going back to the basics of what we used to do, which is, talking to people.
Right.
That's what you got to do. You got to talk to your past clients. I mean, some of these people have been in their homes 10, 15 years, 5 years, right? They've lived through COVID in their house. They hated their house during COVID because, 5 people were in 5 different rooms, even one in the bathroom, trying to make their day progress and stuff like that. So it's just kind of seeing where they're at, and I'm actually looking forward to that.
For me, one of the things I look at is it's a matter of casting a broader net. Before it was, it's all, conventional 30-year fixed rate loans, maybe some government loans, and
cash.
And cash for you.
You wouldn't know that, yes.
The cash for you. But at the end of the day, now it's kind of like, okay, what about all the non-traditional mortgage programs out there? I'm doing a lot more for like self-employed borrowers that can't show their income. Trying to market out to small businesses that have, say, even if it's 30, 50, 100 employees, to offer them, like an affinity program where they're getting a discount on their mortgage, but it gives them an opportunity to be able to educate them on purchasing a home.
And educating real estate agents as well, right? I mean, we've kind of been sitting here, again, cash offers, conventional, no contingencies.
I was on the phone with an agent the other day, and I explained to them that just because their borrower was self-employed doesn't mean they couldn't buy a property. And I mentioned, hey, we'll just go off their bank statements, and you would have thought I was talking like a foreign language. Like, what are you talking about?
This is what
because
I'm
they've
saying,
never some agents, especially agents that have been in the business for say less than 5-6 years, they haven't seen any of these programs because they haven't been readily used, because it's been all straight, like you said, cash, conventional, straight vanilla, CHFAs every once in a while when they get accepted as their offers. Yeah. It's just a matter of, I think, the education process as what's available and what's out there as a tool for them to say, hey, listen, just because this guy's self-employed, or just because this person is on a visa status, for immigration purposes, doesn't mean that there's no mortgage programs out there for them. There's plenty out there.
Correct.
It's just we haven't had to go into those buckets.
Right. Yep.
Because we've all been so busy with the straight vanilla conventional, government loans.
Yeah.
But I look forward to 2024. I think it's going to be an interesting year. I think, like you said, interest rates can go down a bit. It's just a matter of making sure people don't wait on the sidelines too long, because then they're just going to hurt themselves. And they're just going to continue to not be able to either A, find the right property, or B, they're just going to keep getting continuously out there.
Yep. So right now is the time to kind of reach out, get those buckets going, get the green lights,
Yep.
At the top of your list, ready to go, just so after the holidays, they have a plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, one more thing. I wanted to talk about your book, How to Sell Homes Fast for Top Dollar. Tell us a little bit about it, Suzy.
Well, this is something that I did during COVID, and it was just because, I don't know, not that I had time or anything along those lines, but I just thought that it would be something fun to do. And it's basically everything, it's just stuff that I've learned, and being in the home building industry as well, there's just a lot of stats and things that you can do to your home to make it sell faster. And people think that, making your home ready for sale is going to cost them thousands and thousands of dollars, and they don't really know where to go. They don't know what to do. Do I remodel? Do I gut the bathroom and remodel it, or do I do this? So this book kind of outlines, where you should be putting your money, how much money it's going to cost to do certain things, and then it also talks about just little, under $500. What can you do to improve your home for under $500?
And
room by room.
where can they get a copy of this book?
Oh, well, we can, I can mail it to them, but I wasn't ready for that today. Or it's also an online copy as well.
All right, so if they email you, you'll be able to tell them how to get it.
Yes.
Perfect. We'll have the contact information in the video.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming in for the interview.
Thanks,
I'm
Norm.
glad that we got through some of our topics,
Yeah.
and we look forward to doing this again.
Thanks. See you.